Who got more hoes than Denton? Santa.
It should be pointed out that literally anyone would be the correct answer to that opening statement. But Santa Claus is a very nice touch.
He's got at least, actually, he's got 4.
4?
Yeah, Mrs. Claus. She nice, though.
But he got all the hoes.
Well, yeah, ho, 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 plus her. 4.
So it's Christmas. It does. I'm going to be honest. It doesn't at all feel like it's Christmas.
No, not at all.
I don't know if that's because we're old and we don't look at Christmas like the way that we did when we were children.
I mean, I'm still stoked for it.
I'm excited for it, but
it just kind of is like, oh, yeah, by the way, it's the 25th of Christmas, or December.
Do you listen to Christmas music?
No.
I don't listen to it at all. Like, literally, I mean, my parents will play it on.
Just like when I was a kid, we'd have it on in the radio, but I also don't listen to the radio when I drive. So
right. So I
don't listen.
Doesn't it all feel like Christmas? It's weird.
Greatest Christmas song of all time. Go. There's one correct answer.
There's one correct answer. Well, this is a lot of pressure. See, I like the Feliz Navidad. I don't know if that's the greatest ever.
That's
though.
a good one. That's not the right answer. You're thinking too hard.
I think I am thinking way too hard about this. I'm trying to think because I think there's a lot of.
All I want for Christmas. It's Mariah, dude.
See, not a huge Mariah person.
That song's incredible.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm not a big Mariah Carey. Maybe it's I'm tainted. I'm a Nick Cannon guy.
Wildin' Out.
And
you've been watching too much Wildin' Out.
She did my guy dirty, and then plus she ran out her voice.
By her doing him dirty, it provides for some great content on MTV.
But people poke that bear just a little bit too much for my liking.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
They actually, you know what? I was watching one of the newer episodes. They fixed it.
Really?
They fixed it.
They just
way
didn't
too
talk
hard.
about it.
No. It was the wild style was different. It was like Nick Cannon wasn't the host anymore. It was Emmanuel Hudson.
And they did Nick Cannon still there? He was just chilling in the background.
I didn't see him. They did a tag team.
Remember that season
style.
where he just wore that turban the whole time, like that Gucci turban or whatever it was?
The diamond-studded turban.
My man was auditioning. Will Smith got the job instead of him for Aladdin.
Do you think Nick Cannon would be a good Aladdin? I think Will Smith probably be better Aladdin.
Yeah,
or a genie.
100%.
Good casting call. So we're going to walk with Denton, the Christmas special edition. If this is your first time listening, connect with us on social media at walker-aspinwall on Twitter and Instagram for Walker, at denton-day on Instagram and denton_day on Twitter for me. Leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes and a nice little comment. It's the holiday season. Spread some
Christmas joy.
Joy, not choy. Spread some joy, some cheer. Kind of mix those two words up a little bit. And subscribe to us on Spotify as well. So we're going to talk a little bit of Christmas things. We're going to talk some basketball because I have a little segment I'm going to do on LeBron and Anthony Davis that I didn't get to do on my radio show this morning. So we're going to get into all that fun stuff.
Cool.
It's going to be a good stuff. So
it's also the best part about Christmas is NBA Christmas Day.
And there's some really good games this year.
Yeah.
The Raptors aren't playing, and they've complained much about that.
They complain about anything that's related to them in the schedule. Oh, we have a playoff game at 12 o'clock. And then they lose. And then they get swept in the first round. This previous years, obviously. But
by the way,
that was against the Wizards, right? That was the Wizards year.
Yeah. Because their crowd, they packed out this little park that is supposedly like a super
Jurassic Park.
Park.
We the North.
Yeah, Jurassic Park. We the North.
What a fake team when it comes to...
I like them now, though.
I mean... Yeah, I'm still very skeptical come April.
I'm a big Kawhi. I think
whatever.
Kawhi is the difference maker.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm a big Kawhi guy.
But DeMar's having quite the year in San Antonio. He's having a good year.
Yeah, San Antonio's actually kind of good, too. I thought they would struggle. I mean, they did struggle a little bit in the beginning of the season, but I thought they'd be struggling.
Everyone in the West struggled a little bit in the beginning of the season.
That's true. I was looking at their records.
Remember when Chris Paul made that comment? He was getting all frustrated. He's like, well, no one's going to beat the Rockets 4 games in a series. They were the 13th seed at the time he said that. Legitimately the 13th seed. Chris, I'm not sure what league you're watching, but the top 8 teams make the playoffs there. Big guy.
I think the main issue with that statement is he has to play 4 games in a row.
Healthy.
He can't even do that. His hamstring's broken again. Like they need to find a way to remove his human hamstring and put in a bionic one that doesn't tear.
Like in that State Farm commercial with the bionic agent. They need one of those, but a hamstring.
Needs that hamstring because that dump truck backcourt needs him.
Beep, beep, beep. Well, they just got Austin Rivers today. You see that?
I did.
That's the. It was actually hilarious. So it was the Bleacher Report notification, and it was something along the lines of Austin Rivers plans to sign deal with Rockets for the remainder of the year. But I read it as the Houston Rockets will deal with Austin Rivers for the remainder of the year, and I enjoyed that.
That's probably a more accurate statement. Like, if Melo was a cancer, what is Austin Rivers?
Odds that he ends up somehow playing for Doc before either of their careers are over.
I would say high. The question is, will it be in Los Angeles? I don't know about that. Because I don't know how much longer Doc's going to be in Los Angeles.
They could just start an expansion team, and it's just them two.
It's just the Rivers.
And then they don't schedule anyone, and then no one plays them, and no one hears from them again.
Okay, calm down, LeVar Ball. What are you scheduling the JBA over here? Is going to be Doc
They can
Rivers
play in
versus
Lithuania.
LaMelo. So you can get LaMelo in a nice USA jersey, so they can use
Bro,
that for pictures.
The funniest thing is when Spire Academy, word to my homie Winston, was supposed to play Oak Hill, and they were going to play against Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony, I think his name is.
Yeah, one of the best
like
point
guards. One of the best players in his class. And the picture that they were posting, like the hype photo, was both LaMelo and Cole in the USA jerseys. The only problem was Cole's in the official Team USA, like U16, U17, whatever jersey, probably U18 actually. And my man LaMelo's wearing the JBA USA jersey. That
one of these things
does that count?
Like the other.
I mean, Team USA, right?
I mean, to the LeVar Ball.
Hey, he's playing well. He's gonna be all right.
The Team USA jerseys do look really nice that they use for the JBA. It's just the team wasn't that nice.
Yeah, but LaMelo's nice. He'll be good.
He just needs to get his head on straight because
I don't know if he has a problem. We all know who the loudmouth of that family is.
Well, remember, because did you see the video when LaMelo smacked that dude in one of the European dudes?
He probably pissed him off.
He did, and he smacked him, and that European guy wanted all of the smoke. He said, because the European guy, I think, like blocked a shot or something, and he patted him on the head.
All right, if you pat me on the head after you said, I might smack you too.
And LaMelo smacked him, and then it was game on because the European dude's like probably 25.
If you're going to pat someone, if you're a 25-year-old man, you know the repercussions of patting a dude on the head.
Yeah, well, that's what he was going for because LaMelo got ejected.
I'm just saying,
the European team won the game.
Don't be afraid don't be surprised if you get smacked.
And I think because LaMelo, at the time was 17.
Don't come on my man's like that.
Oh, is LaMelo your man?
I'm aboard the LaMelo ball train.
More than Lonzo?
Sign me up. I mean, Lonzo's my starting. He's not really even my point guard because you got LeBron. LaMelo's another player. Lonzo's another player on the team. Nah, Lonzo's nice.
I'm a big Lonzo Ball
fan.
No,
he's
I'm
great.
well aboard the train.
I was just making a LeBron joke.
So one of these things, I meant to talk about this last week, but I almost busted my ankle on Thursday, dude. So Connor and I were doing the sport's called paddleball. It's basically knee hockey or floor hockey. We went back to our old Taekwondo school, and we had a little tournament and such. It was really fun. We got second place. We should have got first place, whatever. But after they were doing this thing where one of the things we used to do when we were like that age is to test our jumping ability, we'd jump over like big targets. Mm-hmm. So you'd stack targets up. So it's basically like when you're a kid in the basement jumping over pillows, but this is a lot higher and a lot thicker targets. So we stacked like 8 of these targets up and tried to clear them. And I was watching people go through the line, and people were like clearing it and stuff. And this was after we just played this game or whatever. And I'm old. You know, I'm starting to get to the point where like sometimes my ankle is just a little sore just from like walking and stuff like that. You know, just regular old people things. But I'm watching all these people jump over, and I'm like, okay, I at least have to give this a try. And it was about 8 targets, and they were probably anywhere between like 6 to 8 inches. So it basically came up to above my nipples, but below my shoulders, height-wise. So it was about probably 5 feet, 4.5, 5 feet. So something that in my prime of an athlete, I could have cleared easy. Not exactly in my prime anymore. So I go up, I watched all these little high schoolers clear it, and I'm like, all right, I got to do this. I have to try this. So I run up the first time. It is very clear. Not happening that first time. Hit the brakes. I'm like, whoa. This isn't happening.
It was a warm-up.
It was a warm-up. We got to run it back.
Making sure there's no holes in the floor.
Exactly. I need a nice space to land and all that. So I get back, and this time I go, and I hit it, and I jump, and I hit it with my hand. So my body cleared it, but I kind of brushed it with my hand. But, dude, I landed on my ankle. It hurt. It did not feel good. I got up, and I was like, oh, Lord, have mercy.
You're at the age where you need to keep
I need to stretch.
You should just have 3 points of contact at all time to the ground.
Exactly. I need tape on my ankle. I need to stretch at all times. I didn't do that, and I almost busted my ankle because of it, just jumping over targets in a Taekwondo studio that I haven't actually attended in almost a decade.
Maybe the paddle ball, if you're like playing on your knees, your legs weren't able to fire at all cylinders. Maybe I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
No,
somehow.
well, it's not actually knee. It's more like floor hockey, not knee hockey. But
okay.
I'm just old. It really came down to that. I'm just old.
It happens, man. Sometimes you just got to know when to hang them up.
I got one more of those things left in me. I was told that
one more jump.
No, well,
I got one left in the tank, guys.
I got one jump left. Well, I was told that Scott Agano was going to play, and that's my guy. And then I was told like a week before, after I'd already committed to it, that he wasn't going to be able to make it.
So next year, right?
I was like, yo, if Scott doesn't come, I'm not playing anymore. I can't do this. I mean, Connor had fun. He was winded after one of the games. He was heavily winded after one of the games. He was running up and down, and like halfway through, I could hear him breathing from like 20 feet away. I was like, good Lord. That's what comes with getting old, man. We're all facing it, and your body just doesn't move like it used to.
No, it's that, which kind of makes it really impressive to watch like any sporting event. You're like, wow, those guys are my age or older.
Yeah. LeBron's run is all of a sudden a lot more impressive. Yeah. He's been doing what he's doing for almost 15 years now. For 16 years?
almost half of his life.
Insanity.
Because he'll quickly get to the point where, well, not obviously, like he's going to be playing at a point where he'll have spent more time in the NBA than not, which is just kind of crazy.
And at that point, his son is probably going to be with him too.
Yeah, they're going to win a ring, and then he's going to retire.
Can you imagine?
I'm going to cry.
That's like the perfect story too. You can't write something like that better.
I know what the cover of 2K would be for the next year.
Those two?
Yeah, and like the story mode is like them.
just them.
Yeah.
It's all them. So with Christmas right around the corner, or today, depending on when you're listening to it, spoiler alert, this being recorded or taped on a Sunday, so we're not actually at Christmas yet, but
that's what you think, dude. I'm so in the Christmas spirit.
Oh, you're in the Christmas spirit now?
I already opened up presents.
Well, technically, I did too because I had people over.
I didn't. I was just kidding. But
I had people over today, and I had family over to my house today, and I was wearing.
I got some leftovers from it, so thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate the invite.
If you hear Walker chewing throughout the remainder of this podcast,
it's some shrimp and some cheesy potatoes, and
what else did you get?
I had some ham too.
The ham was really good.
Apparently, there's pizza after this episode, so
My dad makes pizza now. He's like a full-time pizza maker, so we're gonna get to try some of that. But I was wearing the Walk with Denton shirt, which is still available, $20. Let us know, hit us up. I was wearing that shirt, just to show off in front of my family. Like I'm a big shot. I got a shirt with my own face on it, and my grandma saw it. And my grandma doesn't really understand what radio is or like what a podcast is. So my mom has played her my show before on Sunday mornings. And she thinks it's me on the phone, so she'll start talking back to me.
That's cute, though.
It is.
Why don't you answer her?
She's like 85.
Well, jerk.
Yeah, I know. I'm a terrible person. But she saw the shirt, and she asked, she's like, where are you walking to?
See, that's good. That tells me that my pun
works.
And
she didn't know. She thought that she thought the pictures of both of our heads, she thought one was me with a haircut and one was me without a haircut.
Maybe you were walking to the barber.
I was walking to the barber to get the haircut.
I think there's a spin-off Netflix series that we could create. Hey, Netflix, we got some ideas. Hit us up.
You don't need to pay $100 million for Friends. You can pay us each. I'll take $1 million, call it a day.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I don't need a full $100 million contract for that Friends nonsense.
I wonder if that's. I mean, obviously they ran numbers and they thought it was a good investment. I wonder what other shows and movies they could have brought in with $100 million.
Well, I was listening to something.
Also, the thing, like, I'm surprised that they're willing to pay $100 million That to me, that says that without Friends, a lot of people are going to cancel their Netflix subscription.
Right.
Which is kind of surprising to me.
I saw something that said it had like their quarterly reports, and apparently
that's a lot of subscriptions to equal $100 million.
Well, apparently they bring in they're pushing like $1 billion a quarter or something. Maybe I should double check these facts before I state them as such. But they pull in like billions of dollars per quarter. So if you think of it, it might not be a terrible investment.
I mean, yeah,
I would have rather had other things.
The $100 million to them, like that's
nothing.
That's not an issue, but just the fact that they valued Friends at that is what I was thinking.
I hope they value The Office that much. I like The Office more than I like Friends. To tell you the truth, never seen Friends.
Chris, my college roommate, freshman and sophomore year, is probably the biggest Friends fan ever. So we gave him a bunch of crap when, like, oh, Chris, Netflix is wasting their money on your stupid show. So I would, like, watch episodes with him. But I also have never sat down and watched all The Office. I've seen handfuls of episodes. I've seen a decent amount. I like the memes on Twitter, obviously.
There's a lot of things that wouldn't fly today.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a lot.
Well, it's also
of
hilarious.
things.
In college, at JMU, a lot of the business classes, we would just watch Office snippets of let's not do this in the workplace.
Did they show you sensitivity training?
That might have came up at one point.
It was where they
because we had a whole HR class, so obviously it would work perfectly for that.
It would, because if you haven't seen sensitivity training, it's the little game you play where you'll have like a note card on your head, and someone has to describe it to you, and you have to guess it. Well, they did that, but because this was, I think it was like 2005, some things flew a little bit better then than they do now.
Uh-huh.
And one of the dudes for the training had Martin Luther King on. So they had Asians, they had women, they had Hispanic, Jews, African American, and they also had one for Martin Luther King. And like an episode like that, people claim that we want The Office to come back. Stuff like that would not fly. It's funny to watch now because we know it's all just a TV show and a joke. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So you should watch that episode.
I'll check it out.
It's really great.
Check it out. Yeah, man, people on Twitter love The Office, though.
I love The Office. I watch it
It's
every
a good.
day.
The episodes I've seen, I've enjoyed.
Do you have a favorite character from it?
I mean, Prison Mike's obviously one of the best versions of Mike, right? But no, well, I can't even think of his name. Pam and
Jim.
Yeah, Jim's the
John
goat.
Krasinski.
Jim's the goat. So Shea Serrano's the Basketball and Other Things book. You got the one with the little like extra trading cards in the back of like the fictional characters?
I got Jim Halpert. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say I've definitely watched that episode.
That episode is hilarious. That's probably one of my top 5 favorite Office episodes.
My man should go to the league.
Who? Stanley?
No, no, Jim. Well, that's embarrassing. I couldn't think of Jim's name. Like, that's bad.
It's a pretty basic name.
Because I've seen way too many episodes to say like, oh yeah, I've only watched a handful of times. Like, I don't know the character's name. I've seen it enough where I should know that.
So do you think you're more of a Jim personality in your own office?
I mean, yeah, I'm the GOAT, so yeah. Yeah, facts.
Self-confidence. I like
Big
that.
Facts.
I like that. So Christmas, we're going to talk some Christmas memories here because
memories.
everyone has some Christmas memories. And I know, obviously, Christmas is a fun time, but it's so much better when you're a younger child. I don't know if anyone's ever going to debate that. Like, the joy that you think Christmas is better now than when you were, like, 9?
Not right now, but I think in the future it could be equally as fun.
In the future when you have kids.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
But yeah, no, okay.
Yeah,
up to 23 years.
Up to 23,
yeah.
like, the Christmas at 10 years old is better. And also because at 10 years old, I think we had, like, a 3-week break. 3 or 4 week break from school, and now they have like a 2-week break. We used to have some long breaks.
No, you just thought they were long breaks because you were 10 years old. They've always been the same amount of time. From public schools, they've always been like 2 weeks.
Because there was a couple times where we got back in like the week after New Year's, and I remember a couple years ago, people got in like 2 days after.
You're lying. I don't believe you.
I'm going to have to fact check that. You got Loudoun County's website, see if they have the calendars, the archives.
Well, no, I know that this year they go back to second.
Well, I know that this year they do. I don't know if we ever went back.
Man, I'm not looking through the archives.
But it's really not that hard. You type in Loudoun County Calendar Archives on the internet.
Oh, that's actually a thing?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they keep it for public record sakes.
Loudoun County.
That's just how that works. They have a record of what all went down. I'll tell you what, public records is a very fun thing to mess with.
I remember the last time you looked at that and sent us some pictures.
I have, and shout out to keep your credit cards safe, people. Keep your credit cards safe.
Oh, bro. All right, 2018. I need to go back much farther than that.
Yeah, go back like 12 years.
That's just a regular calendar.
Well, they should have the dates on when breaks were, I would think.
Loudoun County School. Winter break. You said 10 years old, so we'll throw in 2005.
2005 seems like a good year.
2008, 2009 calendar.
Close enough. See what it was. That'll give us at least some sort of control group.
December 22 through 26 / 29 through 31. Winter break. So those 2 weeks. Classes resume the 5th. So you're tripping. We were never out for 3 weeks.
We're never out for 3 weeks?
It's always 2 weeks.
That's wild.
You might get a little more of a bump depending on when New Year's fell. New Year's falls on a Tuesday this year. Like, I'm pretty sure they're in school on Wednesday.
That sucks. That is atrocious.
Yeah.
Damn. Glad we're out of school. I say that like I'm mad. I'm going to be working that New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So, I mean, I don't know if I have.
Let's get that bread, right?
Anyway, Christmas memories. That was a little tangent that we went off on. What are some of your favorite Christmas gifts? What did little Walker like?
Favorite Christmas gift. So
buzz cut Walker, by the way. Picture that in your head.
Come on now. Favorite Christmas gifts. I can think of two kind of stories about Christmas gifts that really stick out. The first one was, I don't remember how old I was for this, maybe 5, but I had really wanted a camping tent, and like I forget if before
I didn't know you were a camper at all when you were 5.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we went out camping as a family and stuff, and I don't remember if we had just gone out on a camping trip or were planning to go on a camping trip. Like, what inspired me being all about this gift, because it wasn't just a tent for me, obviously, like it was family sized. And anyways, so I wanted a tent real bad, and we come down Christmas morning, and I don't know how Santa operates in your household, but Santa, he drops his gifts off unwrapped in my house.
Very festive. I like that. It shows that it's
so we know the ones that are from Santa, right? Like, oh, they're already ready to go, or they come ready to use. But there was a little, like a tent for an action figure, essentially, like a mini tent set up in the family room, and I was so mad.
Santa
I remember being so upset. And we went through the whole Christmas morning opening up gifts, and I was just a pouty little brat probably. And when we were done, I somehow my parents were like, "Hey, well, come downstairs and like help me bring something downstairs or do something." So I went downstairs, and in the basement was a full-size tent set up, and I probably lost my mind. So that's one, and another one, which is still kind of Aspinwall legend to this day. I was probably a little older, maybe like 7 or 8, and I wanted a set of like army toys, right? Like little army men.
Right.
And so we came down in the morning, and all the army men were set up like in battle, right? Like in the family room. There was this huge like gash in the hardwood floor, though, like where the army men were getting set up, and no one really fessed up to. This gash wasn't there the night before, like a huge dent in the floor. And my parents, neither of them took responsibility for it, so the next logical answer is that Santa was taking too long setting them up, and Rudolph came down. It was like, "Hey, man, we got to go." And it was one of his hoofs. cut up the hardwood.
Right, the hardwood.
Yeah, just cut it up. So to this day, no one's claimed it, so I'm sticking with that story.
Did you ever write letters to Santa?
Yeah.
Did you ever get letters back?
No.
We wrote letters once, and I asked my parents about this like 2 or 3 years ago. We wrote a letter to Santa, and we got one back.
Ooh.
And I was like, "Where did you guys send that letter?" And they're like, "We honestly have no idea who wrote you back."
Well, yeah, because you send them to, like, you can put them you can address them
to the North Pole.
To the North Pole. And the Postal Service takes them to the North Pole. I never got one written back to me.
Yes, someone wrote one back. It was when we were like probably around the age that you were when you had your tent. It's probably like maybe 6 or so. It was in our house that we lived on when I lived in South Riding. And that was like one of the highlights of the Christmas in that area because I don't remember much from that house.
My Christmas sucked. I'm all upset now.
So is the tent your favorite ever Christmas gift, or do you have a gift that maybe doesn't have as great of a story as a tent being set up?
I can't really remember a lot of the ones. Like, I'm sure. I remember there being like a big like Hot Wheels like tricycle type of deal that was pretty cool. Like one of those like
trike.
Basically one of the like the low seaters with the giant handlebars up top.
Literally just put some PVC pipes on that and just go down you have a nice hill on your street too. You can just go down that, drift and stuff. Put a helmet on, of course, safety first.
So that was a pretty cool one. I'm trying to think of like other. That's probably that probably was one of the dope, cooler ones. I have a bad memory with things like this though. I don't really like.
They'll all
remember
flood to you on Christmas morning.
Yeah, exactly. Get back. I'll get back to you. Well, what about you?
I think my favorite gift that I ever got, it was in 2006. So it was right when Star Wars Revenge of the Sith came out.
Ooh, okay.
Which to this day is still one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I know the purists hate it. I liked it.
That's episode 3?
Yeah, episode 3. Because I liked Anakin's my favorite. Anakin and Darth Vader are my favorite. And they had this Darth Vader helmet that you could like change the voice. And so it had all these little effects on it. And I told people, because the movie came out, I think, during the summer. So for 6 months, I'm telling people, like, look, I need this Darth Vader helmet. I need the Darth Vader helmet. And we
just like random adults on the street, like, hey,
like I need the Darth Vader helmet.
Anyone who would listen,
anyone. So we get it to my house, and my grandma was staying with me, and I had a feeling there was a box with my name on it.
Some would say the Force was with you.
The Force. that flowed really well. I like that. So I see
That's what
this.
I'm here for.
I see this box, and
What's in the box?
I see the way it's set up. There's no, because the way that you buy them, it's not like a fully covered box, so you can like see the helmet and such. So I saw there was like a rounded point to the box, and it was in my house probably for 5 days, and I knew it was from my grandma, and I told her several times I need this Darth Vader helmet. So I spent the next 5 days very sneakily creating a small hole.
Oh, you dog!
In the wrapping paper.
You dog!
To see. So I could just get a finger on it.
So you were 100% already on the dark side.
I was already on the dark side.
You just 100% let the dark side take you. You didn't fight it.
When I felt the helmet, I knew, and I was like, "This."
You had been touched.
This is going to be a great Christmas. So the big though, this is the big thing because now we're 23. I hope anyone that's listening to this is over the age of 10. At this point.
Whoa.
No, we're going.
Whoa, I don't like where we're headed because I don't believe you.
We are absolutely
No, we're not. I refuse.
We are going.
No, we're not.
When did you find out Santa?
No, we're not. No. He's still real, bro. What you mean?
When did you find out that a man didn't come down your chimney?
He 100% comes down my chimney.
He comes down your chimney.
I watched a movie last night about it. It's actually a Netflix original Christmas movie, and it was not as
Russell?
Yeah, it was not as bad as I was expecting it to be. But because it was Kurt Russell, the whole time I was watching it, the last time I saw a movie with Kurt Russell in it was Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Ego the Living Planet.
So I was just waiting for him to go crazy on us. Never happened. But I did. In the meantime, I did think about my favorite Christmas gift of all time.
Okay, we'll get back to the same. We're not getting out of here with that.
We're getting out of here.
I'll tell you my story.
We're getting out of here. Best Christmas present was last year. It was a giant bottle of Hennessy in my stocking. That's a true statement. The Hot Wheels trike is a close second.
So it goes Hennessy, Hot Wheels, tent.
Yeah, in that order.
So I'm not going to be able to get this out of you. I'm just going to have to tell my story. And
so honestly, one I don't remember. I will give you this much because I truly don't know the answer. But I will give you this much. I'm about 2 years older than my sister, and she was probably a little bit of a smarter child than I was.
I agree with that. At that age.
And so my sister was a little more inquisitive and was asking my parents some questions, some harsh truths that I really didn't want to know the answer to, and I ran out of the room. So I don't know how old she was, but there was a point where I think she was starting to ask some things, and I did not want any part of it. I legitimately ran out of the room, probably stuck my head under my pillow.
What do you think is the appropriate age to tell a kid, like, hey,
Never.
this probably isn't real. So you would rather
I mean, I would never tell anyone. Like, if they come across it somehow, then all right, they come across it. I'm not gonna ever be like, hey, kid.
Well, your own child, not just
no, exactly.
Kid. Because you know, like on the bus, people are gonna talk about that.
Oh, well, yeah, it's got to be some little
stuff.
Shithead that ruins it.
Would you rather have that little shithead in 6th grade ruin it?
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna tell
have
him.
a sit down conversation like, hey, the spirit of Santa Claus is what we celebrate.
No, the
big ass dude doesn't come down our chimney every year.
The little shithead can say it, and then we can have a good conversation about it at home.
Because the way I was a little inquisitive, and I wasn't inquisitive. I was on the dark side.
You were, obviously.
I was sneaky, and I was sneaking around my parents' room. I think I was probably 10 years old. So this was right before I got into 6th grade. I was sneaking around my parents' room, and I found an iPod and a DVD player. Oh. The DVD player was for Connor.
DVD player.
Yeah, like a portable DVD player for the car, so you could, hook the.
Oh yeah, no,
on.
it's just definitely was 05.
Yeah. So I see these, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I'm gonna sit back on this real quick
and take some notes here.
And so what we did for Christmas is we would do like these riddles. So Santa would leave us riddles,
that's cool.
And we'd have to.
I like that.
So we'd have it. They'd all be around our house. I think it was confined to like the main floor, maybe one or two downstairs or whatever. So we'd have to find out these riddles, and we go through all these riddles. And at the end of the riddle, from Santa Claus is the iPod and the DVD player.
And you're like, whoa, hold up.
And so at that point, I'm kind of chilling a little bit. My brother's a year younger than me. I didn't really want to ruin it, although I ended up ruining it like a little.
You were just kind of on high alert.
I was just like, okay, this is interesting. So 2 days later, I build up the courage because at that point, I got to kind of use the gifts. I got to get stuff on the iPod and stuff. I build up the courage. I'm like, Mom, what's up?
Talk.
What's up with this?
What's up?
I saw this iPod here, and now it's from Santa. What's up? And she's like, yeah, Santa's not real.
Oh, she was just like, yeah, you caught me.
She was like, yep, you sneaked around a little bit, and this is where we are.
You did it. All right. She flipped it back on you. You did it to yourself.
It was like you did it to yourself.
Dummy.
I'd heard the rumors on the back of the bus. People, they'd sort of come to this conclusion that maybe a big man isn't sliding down the chimney.
I mean, if you watch that Kurt Russell movie, he's in decent shape, and he's actually offended that everyone thinks he's a fat man.
Sorry, Kurt Russell. I apologize for that. But that's how I found out. And I'm pretty sure my mom's like, don't tell your brother. And I think I went and told my brother.
Damn, so you're the worst type of person.
So I'm on the dark side. The Darth Vader helmet was still strong with me.
That's messed up.
It happens. What can I say?
I mean, Rudolph still scuffed up my floor, so until you can prove to me otherwise.
I don't even know where that would have taken place, so I can't disprove that theory. We'll just have to kind of live with that one. So let's get into some serious basketball talk here. I had this little segment that I wanted to do on my show on Sunday morning, and what I was going to do, I was going to plan out 5 minutes were going to be directed towards James Harden and the current run that he was on. That ended up going the full 10 minutes, so I couldn't get into the LeBron and Anthony Davis section that I had planned out for it. So we know that LeBron has expressed interest in playing with one Anthony Davis, right? As if that's like a sin or something, because who doesn't want to play with Anthony Davis? So one of the things that I found really, really interesting is that the general managers in the Western Conference wanted LeBron to be penalized for tampering with this, because this is something Magic Johnson did something basically the exact same
with Paul George
when he went on Jimmy Kimmel and talked about Paul George, and he was fined a lot of money for it. I think it was $500,000 or something like that.
Was it that much? I thought it was like $50,000.
Maybe it was $50,000. There was a fine.
It was only $50,000.
Yeah, only a yearly salary for most people right out of college. And so I kind of thought about that, and I was like, it makes sense for a Western Conference GM to be a little bit upset about that, because they're not allowed to come out and say something. But everyone on earth wants Anthony Davis on their team. There's not one. Maybe Philadelphia's like, you know what, we can probably not use him because we have Joel Embiid. But basically everyone else like, yeah, if we can get Anthony Davis, we'll take him. So that happened, and it was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And then they played. Mm-hmm. And the Lakers beat the Pelicans. And at the end of the game, cameras focused in on LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
They just showed some love. It actually wasn't as much as I was anticipating. I was expecting LeBron to go full like jersey over his mouth mode, and you have no idea what they're talking about.
What they said was, we'll talk.
Oh, really?
But yeah, they said, we'll talk. Boom. The internet loses its mind. Oh, my gosh. LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
They went to dinner after the game, too. So they were just talking about where they wanted to go to eat.
It should be noted, NBA players do have cell phones. And they do have each other's numbers in
Probably
the
got
cell
a couple
phones.
phones.
And the phrase "we'll talk" is a pretty common phrase, correct?
Yeah.
Like that happens.
I've said
all
it
the
at least
time.
once.
So I think that it was very silly for people to lose their minds over the "we'll talk." But the idea that we're starting to kind of circulate here, which is, I guess, the battle between Boston, New Orleans, and Los Angeles for who is going to acquire the services of Anthony Davis for the foreseeable future, is really starting to heat up a little bit. And I got to say, in a weird way, I'm not in any way, shape, or form a Lakers fan. You know that. You are a Lakers fan. But it's refreshing to have this conversation because for the first time, it works. You know, a lot of the times for the past year and a half or so, we've been talking about superstars, and with the exception of Damian Lillard and Kemba Walker, who I don't know if that was more real rumor that either one of those guys was going to land in Cleveland, or if that was more just NBA fans, fantasy booking, giving LeBron James a good point guard after Cleveland ditched Kyrie Irving. With the exception of those two guys, all of the guys that we have seen rumored to play with LeBron don't really fit. And I know we're in this position or this era of positionless basketball, and because the 7-foot dude can shoot a 25-foot jump shot, we just don't care about positions at all. I dispute that. I think the positional integrity is still very strong in this league. So when I hear names like LeBron James and Paul George playing together, truthfully, I don't think that would work because I don't think they could play off each other very well. When I hear guys, let me run through this list here. I have this list written down. Paul George and LeBron James, like I said, don't think that could work. Jimmy Butler and LeBron James, that's probably more plausible because Jimmy, I think, could play a 2-guard. Still, though, I don't know if
LeBron's not
work.
playing the 3, though. LeBron hasn't played the 3 in 5 years.
But if you're going to build a team around him, you would need him to at least play minutes at the 3 because you can't have him as your top point guard and also you got on the wing because he does like to play on the wing. So
sure.
you need some sort of point guard as well. The Kawhi and LeBron thing, I thought it would work when Kawhi was in San Antonio. After watching Kawhi Leonard play in Toronto, it's very evident that Kawhi Leonard needs the ball in his hands, and he likes having the ball in his hands. He is ball dominant. LeBron is ball dominant. That's not really going to work. Also, LeBron may have called him a system player. I think that was more Kevin Durant. But those two things don't tend to go very well, and it's been made pretty clear, it seems, that Kawhi Leonard wants to be the guy. He just wants to be the guy on the other Los Angeles team. So that wouldn't work. And then the Kevin Durant-LeBron thing. This is hilarious because LeBron James and Kevin Durant, in theory, out of these guys listed, this would seem to be the one that would work the most, except Kevin Durant seems to do everything in his power to criticize LeBron James every chance he gets, calling the atmosphere that LeBron James has in the locker room as toxic. That is not the thing that you want to say.
That is also the only time I've ever heard LeBron James be described as toxic.
Ever. Like, no one has ever said
Skip
that
Bayless
before.
doesn't even say that.
Exactly. And so I'm looking at that comment, I'm like, okay, he is absolutely not going to Los Angeles next year. But Anthony Davis, that fits. Because Anthony Davis he doesn't need the ball in his hands 24/7.
Imagine them two running a pick and roll for 48 minutes.
It's frightening. And imagine them running the fast break for at least, we'll say, a couple times. Not a full 48 minutes. We'll say a couple times. Imagine LeBron James pushing the ball with Anthony Davis running down
and then JaVale McGee filling the center and just yamming on someone.
It's mind-baffling. So I was happy that we finally get a superstar teaming that makes sense because I don't like this idea that we just throw the best players together and they'll become the Warriors. I don't think that's how it works. But I do like the Anthony Davis thing actually makes a little bit of sense. I would prefer to him to stay in a small market team. I think he's great in New Orleans.
Go let him be great, man. Go let him secure the bag. Why has he got to be stuck in a small market his whole life?
Well, if you're talking about securing the bag, he's got to secure the bag in the small market when he gets $230 million over 5 years.
He'll be in L.A.
Well, he's already marketable. Like the idea that you need to be in a big market to be more marketable is kind of out the window now because the NBA has such a great exposure. I mean, everybody knows Anthony Davis do with a unibrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has trademarked that too, or at least he did. I don't know if it's still active trademark, but so I don't know if he needs to go. I would like to see him win a championship.
I'm obviously supportive of him coming to L.A. I'm supportive. Because is he a free agent this offseason?
No, so he has one more. But
see, that's my thing. So for the past 4 years, the Lakers have been pretty ass, and then they've gotten some good draft picks, and then been trading them away. So I think at this point they've kind of decided, all right, these are the 4 young guys that we really want to build around. And
Some
I'm
of
just
which doesn't
worried.
make sense, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Ditch Brandon Ingram. Ditch him for Anthony Davis without a question.
So I was just going to say that Ingram's been the name that I've seen thrown out a lot in trades this entire year. Ingram did have a much better second year than his first year.
Right.
But yeah, at the same time, I would take the Anthony Davis 7-footer over the Brandon Ingram 6'11er.
Exactly. And Anthony Davis can obviously do a lot more. And I think for the young guys, if you want to make a trade like this, you have to lose at least 2 of them. You're keeping Kyle Kuzma. 100%.
Yes.
You're keeping Kyle Kuzma. And then it's a toss-up between Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and Lonzo Ball. And that's
I don't like Bron loves Lonzo.
He does.
Bron likes Lonzo a lot.
Crazy in a sense because he hates LeVar Ball, and LeVar Ball has openly criticized him.
For Anthony Davis, I'd give up Josh Hart.
Exactly. Like, it's hard to suggest that I'm gonna keep Josh Hart instead of Anthony Davis, but I do like Josh Hart. That.
Right? No, yeah, I'm very happy with all 4 of those guys. Kuz, Ball, Ingram, and Hart.
Because if he ends up in Boston, that's some trouble right there. Because it seems as though they would pair him with Kyrie. I would think that would seem to be
and just
legitimate.
And well, obviously,
Ditch
you get rid of Horford.
Ditch Gordon Hayward. You don't really need him right now. He hasn't really seemed to get his foot. That's a bad choice of words.
No.
He hasn't gotten his groove back since the injury. He did have one game where he scored 30 off the bench.
He still looks great.
Wonder why you think that. What's the reason behind that one?
He's got phenomenal hair.
And nice beard too, maybe.
Yeah, it's a great beard.
A great skin complexion as well.
And he's kind of pale. He's playing in Boston. It doesn't help him.
I'm
not saying that. I'm not saying. I'm not saying it's any different than me. I'm just.
Ninth grade.
Just saying, there's improvements to be made.
Ninth grade Walker, or maybe it's 10th grade Walker. Dude, I went to the pool and I think I got whiter.
That is a true statement. It happens a lot with me.
So this summer's going to be the big summer for Anthony Davis because it's going to be the time where he's.
If you're New Orleans, are you going to trade him? Do you think? He'd probably walk, right?
That's what you're going to find out.
Need to get some value.
Summer. You're going to ask him hey, what's the deal here?
I guess you could offer. You could try to extend him this summer, right?
Yeah, I believe he is eligible for the super max.
And if he doesn't accept it, do you just then throw in the towel and just figure it's over? Because then the only way that they stay is that they make a legit playoff run, deep playoff run. And also, I feel like you're going to have to spend some time on the whole, let's get Anthony Davis to sign this extension. And if he then turns it down, you've wasted your entire offseason and you haven't brought in anyone else.
Right. There's a couple guys that I think are free agents this upcoming year that you could sign, and it would make sense to pair those, with the one being Kemba Walker. So the Charlotte Hornets, whatever Hornets now, they would go back to the Hornets. Right now, they're the Charlotte Fighting Kemba Walkers. When Kemba Walker leaves, they would go back to the Hornets, and you could pair those
They become the
up.
Charlotte crying MJs.
And can you imagine, Kemba Walker, Anthony Davis.
That's incredible.
Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Mirotic. And then they had one of their backup point. One of the 2 guard right now. One of the guards is really good.
Etuan Moore.
Etuan Moore. Yes, Etuan Moore coming off the bench for a nice little spark. That's a pretty good unit. Granted, the Western Conference is like hell right now for small teams trying to make it, but that's a pretty good unit.
Yeah, we saw what they did last year in the playoffs.
And they had Rondo who couldn't even shoot. He hadn't even developed a jump shot yet. Now he can kind of shoot. He didn't have that yet. He just played really good defense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that'd be intriguing. Also, I'm just really hoping Kemba Walker gets the hell out of Charlotte.
Just get him out. Get him as far away as you can.
Please save Kemba Walker.
I wanted him to get traded to Cleveland. I don't want him to get traded to Cleveland.
No,
go anywhere
arguably
but
worse.
Cleveland. Yeah, get out of Charlotte, but no Cleveland. Go west.
Do you think the New York Knicks will ever sign another free agent?
As I think about it, it does
just a free agent.
I think Kevin Durant could end up there, but I don't know why he would want to. I don't understand why Kevin Durant would ever actually want to leave Golden State. It doesn't make sense.
I'm excited what NBA Twitter would do with Kevin Durant being in the second brightest light sport market in the world. at least in the NBA. Because we already know he doesn't do well with social media. He's playing in Oakland. Granted, they're the best team in the league, so they're obviously getting way more exposure. Imagine him in New York.
For what he's
where you're going to have superstars yelling at you instead of just some random fan. He's going to cuss out Spike Lee. Or what?
For what he wants, it just doesn't make sense. He wants to be accepted so bad. And I don't think going to New York.
So he could join that team with Austin Rivers and Doc Rivers that I was talking about. It's just the three of them.
Oh, my gosh. Could you imagine that?
No.
What would that even look like? What would that locker room look like? That would be awful.
It'd be the Rivers family room.
Because the Rivers don't even like each other that much. Austin doesn't seem to have a great affection for Doc for whatever reason. He was too basketball focused when he was a kid. I just don't see Kevin Durant. I can't wrap my head around him leaving. Granted, I said that exact same thing when he was leaving Oklahoma City. I thought he was going to give it one more year with Billy Donovan and Russ. That didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I like to rag on Durant, he is the best scorer in the NBA and possibly the best, not most scorer, obviously, but the best scorer of all time.
Best pure scorer. You can do so many things. It's
but I also think it's hilarious how even in Oakland, I really don't think the fans truly appreciate him for the fact that he is the second best basketball player in the world.
No, but they love Steph Curry.
But it's going to be hilarious in 2 months when Boogie comes back and KD's the fifth most loved player on that roster.
They like Draymond more than him.
That's what I'm saying.
So
he's going to be the fifth most loved player on that roster, and he's a two-time NBA Final MVP
and a one-time MVP elsewhere.
That's just funny to it's crazy to me.
He just can't get that acceptance, so there's no point leaving because he could win championships galore moving forward. Now it's not the Rockets. The Warriors do look kind of human this year. They looked human last year too. But I
still have my money on them until
further notice.
Otherwise.
Until we see someone can actually beat them in 4 games,
or we know if Steph is not healthy. I don't care if the whole team's not healthy.
If Steph's not healthy,
as long as Steph's healthy, then yeah, they're
gonna win. I'll pose you this question then, and then we'll wrap this up. Durant, Clay, Draymond. Where do you think those 3 guys end up this time next year? Where do you think they're playing?
Are they all free agents?
To the best of my knowledge, I think they will all. I don't know if Draymond's a free agent this year.
I was gonna say I think the one most likely, in my view, the one most likely to not be a Warrior whenever the time comes is Clay.
Really? See, that's interesting.
Because I don't know, maybe not. I think Clay. I don't know. So I like Clay the most. Not that influences.
We've learned so much more about him over the past year. Just him as a person.
He's a goofy dude.
He's such a goofy.
I love his. You got to look up some of the videos whenever. So I forget if he's Lining or Atna, whatever his shoe company is. He always does like a off-season tour in China, and he's just so goofy over there. Like he's in all these like crazy commercials where he's like spinning around like a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air like throne. But I don't know. I think Draymond's a Warrior for life because I don't know if I don't think anyone else wants him as bad as Golden State wants him.
They won't pay him as much as Golden State will, for sure.
And KD has the ability to move the needle anywhere he goes, so he could go anywhere really. I don't know if that argument means that Clay is most likely to leave. I don't know. I just see Clay maybe wanting to try something else out, but also he's got a really good gig where he can be the most volatile scorer on that team and drink Coors Lights afterwards. Like why would you give that up?
Because he can literally just stand in the corner or just across. He can put his tack insert down on the 3-point line.
So maybe KD, because I truly think if it came down to the Warriors' decisions, they're going to pick Draymond over KD, and maybe the KBD doesn't really like that.
I don't think they're going to pay Kevin Durant the max money. And I think at this point, he took a hometown discount in OKC. He took a big discount this past year with the last contract situation he signed. He took a big discount. I think he gave him like a $10 million discount so he could keep Andre Iguodala. So I don't think he's going to do that again.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. He can get the money he wants.
The Lakers would pay for him. The Clippers would pay for him.
I hope he goes to the Clippers.
Oh, if he wants people to like him, please, for the love of God, do not go to the Clippers. That is not the way to handle this situation.
I want to like KD so bad because he's so good.
I try so hard sometimes. It's so difficult, though.
But it's tough.
You just can't. You just can't. Right when you try and like him, he does something that's just like, dude.
At least I'm on board the hate Steph Curry train.
Which I don't know how that train even exists, but
hate's a strong word. He's the greatest shooter of all time. And he's also the reason that they have their however many championships they have. Three.
They got 3, right? Yeah.
With them, yeah, with that crew.
But you would absolutely 100% love Kevin Durant if he ends up in a Lakers jersey.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I'd love any of those guys that end up in a Lakers jersey. All sins would be forgiven.